Monday we start Time Tunnel Week with Revenge of the Gods. Have a super weekend, and Monday I hope you meet me right back here at the $16,000 movie.
16 Sports Final tonight on Newswatch 16 Update.
This is the news station, WNEP 16.
High winds and rain hit northeast and central Pennsylvania last night, and Newswatch 16 cameras were out in that weather, recording the damage. Flooded streets, downed trees blocking the streets, and severing power lines. Winds of up to 50 miles an hour swooped down on the Wyoming Valley and on up toward Lackawanna County. Up to 1 inch of rain in an hour or less added to the troubles. No injuries have been reported, just a lot of mess left behind. By far, the worst damage happened here in Avoca. Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds went out today to see just how bad it was.
If you have any doubt about the wallop nature packs, just look at these scenes of Avoca. Officials say the small town took on the most storm damage in Luzerne County.
I thought the building was going to blow over and everything. I see it on TV, like when you see the Midwest, when they get a tornado or hurricane, or in Florida. To me, it looked the same way. I said, my God, this looks like it's happening here.
The National Weather Service says it wasn't a tornado, just strong winds. Some say the force of the storm was awesome. Take this tree. It probably weighs several tons, yet it was snapped like a twig. One half of a huge pine tree was sheared by the wind and then carried about 50 feet before landing in a parking lot. While crews worked at cleaning up the mess, people began venturing outside and taking in all the damage.
My son, like I said, he was really afraid because he said to me he didn't know what was going on. The windows were rattling and shaking and everything.
Why would you think? It's like a hurricane or something, you know, and then I heard all these back trees coming down, and I was afraid of them coming on my home.
This tree crashed into Marion Parridge's home. Marion says when it happened, her first thoughts were for her invalid mother.
I could hear this thud, and my first thought was to hurry on into my mother's bedroom to see of her safety, because she cannot move out of bed by herself.
The damage wasn't confined to Avoca either. In nearby Old Forge, workers spent the day picking up the twisted steel, which was once a billboard sign. The storm did cause a lot of damage, and some of the people we talked to have said it's a miracle that no one was hurt or even killed. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16.
Avoca wasn't the only area that was clobbered by heavy winds and rain last night. In the back mountain of Luzerne County, Kunkle took some heavy damage. Meteorologist Tom Clark is in his office now with an explanation of what it was that hit Kunkle. Tom?
Okay, Karen, the damage was indeed severe up in Kunkle, and the question remains, was it strong thunderstorm winds or, in fact, a small tornado? Now, one way to help us answer that question is to inspect the damage from the air. Now, take a look at some of this video here shot from Skycam 16. There's some damage off of trailer parks there, some siding lying in the streets. But now, look up here in a straight line across the street. That building there completely damaged, the roof caving in, the building alongside completely caved in as well. Very strong winds. Now take a look right across the street. Look at this row of trees here lying flat on the sides. Okay, those trees literally torn out of the ground. And this small area of trees here, notice if you look closely, those trees were snapped in half right in that very small portion of those stand of trees there. Very strong winds indeed. Look at those trees just ripped of their leaves, and the trees just snapped in half. Now that would lead me to believe that it may have been a small twister which touched down just outside of Kunkle last night. But nothing in the way of severe weather coming over this weekend. I'll have it for you outside in just a moment. Karen, Nolan?
Okay, thank you, Tom. And Newswatch 16 continues with breaking down the barriers for the handicapped.
And a senator visits a threatened town and finds its people divided.
Talking to Turkey Saturday.
What kind of day do you need to send a beautiful balloon up, up, and away? Well, as Newswatch 16's Craig Stevens found in Snyder County, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
You're looking at one of the few women in the United States licensed to fly helium balloons. She's Cynthia Shields from Washington, D.C. She's here at the Susquehanna Valley Mall in Selinsgrove as part of a promotion. Cynthia doesn't usually try to inflate her balloon when it's this windy, but she's promised me a ride if I give her a hand. And from what she tells me, it should be exciting.
A thrill is one word, but I think that also it's a very poetic experience. To me, it is just an incredible way to encounter the world, because every flight has such a great element of chance. I never know where I'm going to land.
This Dacron balloon is about 60 feet tall when it's inflated. It's a hot air balloon. Now that means it flies because it's filled with hot air, which causes the balloon to rise. But today there's just a bit too much wind to contend with to get the balloon filled and airborne. It's all we can do to keep it from blowing away. The work involved is perhaps why more women aren't balloonists.
It is unusual because our life structures in general don't permit us the freedom that men have to take off perhaps for a week or a weekend. Most women do have family responsibilities. I don't have children. I have one puppy, and it was very difficult to leave her, as a matter of fact.
Although Cynthia didn't get the balloon up today, she says she'll be back again tomorrow, hoping the weather will cooperate. And as far as not getting it up today, she says that's the way it goes. Craig Stevens, Newswatch 16, Selinsgrove.
It's the first time he's been in Centralia since the House of Representatives voted to pay to move the people out. Senator Arlen Spector was in the Columbia County town today, where an underground mine fire has been burning for 21 years. Newswatch 16's Jaqueline Carr says the senator got caught in the middle of a controversy.
A lot of these Centralia citizens were happy with what Senator Arlen Spector had to say about a $42 million appropriations bill to move the citizens out. He said he's going to give it his best effort to get the bill passed in the Senate once it goes back to session next Tuesday.
I am a parent, and I want what's best for my child, and this is not what's best for my children.
What is it that you would like to see done?
I want to be relocated soon, very soon. I do not want to spend another winter in my home.
But when Spector asked for a show of hands on who wants to stay in Centralia and who wants to move, it was obvious the town is still divided. One citizen asked about getting money to put the fire out so those who want to stay can. Spector said that idea is just too expensive at this point.
The cost figures there are very, very high, in excess of $100 million, and it is not even certain if that figure will be sufficient.
Even though back in August the majority of the property owners in this town voted to relocate, Senator Arlen Spector did get the feeling today there are a number of people who just won't go. But right now Spector says his major concern is getting the money for the others to move out. For those people living in Centralia now who do want to move out, Senator Arlen Spector says he thinks he has good news for them. He anticipates the $42 million bill being passed in the Senate and then signed by the president. He says whatever the decision is, we'll know in about a month. Jaqueline Carr, Newswatch 16, Centralia.
Many of us know people who are handicapped. They have a hard time getting around in some public places. Tonight, in the second of a series of reports on problems of the handicapped, Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci takes a look at Lackawanna County.
In many ways, Lackawanna County embodies both the best and the worst of what society has to offer to the handicapped. The best because there's a sincere effort underway here to help disabled people. The worst because this county is old. It has a long history, and much of the architecture reflects that. Because a lot of the buildings are old, many don't meet modern handicapped access standards, though some have taken partial measures like putting in ramps and then failing to put in electronic doors. Most people in wheelchairs couldn't pull on that handle.
It would be difficult. The pull is a little heavy.
And that is a barrier to the handicap.
Almost definitely, yes.
Good afternoon, Office for the Physically Disabled.
But in other respects, Lackawanna County is progressive. The county has set up a special office for the handicapped, which seeks out and tries to change architectural barriers. But workers admit it's an uphill fight.
We've only been able to accomplish a tip of an iceberg. The more and more we see what has to be done, the more staggering it turns out to be.
Even though progress has been slow, it is measurable. There are some sidewalks around town that are contoured, and some businesses that make a serious effort to accommodate the handicapped. More on that tomorrow. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
And Newswatch 16's meteorologist Tom Clark is next with the forecast.
And I think He has some good news for all of us for the weekend.
Take a trip back in time to ancient Greece.
What if it doesn't work? Well, then he'll be lost in time for the rest of his life.
Doug and Tony battle with the Greeks and Trojans.
We're from a faraway place and time. A great distance.
Gods from Olympus! Get stuck in the time tunnel in Revenge of the Gods, Monday at 4 on WNEP 16.
It's Friday and the fall foliage is in front of us. Let's find out more from meteorologist Tom Clark.
Okay, Nolan, it will be a very nice weekend to get out and look at some of that flaming fall foliage. In many areas, it hasn't peaked yet. It won't happen until sometime next week, but it has started in a good many areas as well. A beautiful night now in the backyard. We have a quarter moon in the western sky, and if you don't believe me, well, you don't have to get out and look out your window. I can show it to you right now on this videotape shot this evening. There it is, the first quarter moon, and still up in the sky at this hour. Okay, your temperature outside now looks like this. We have a reading of 50, we'll make that 46 degrees. It's down now in the 40s over all of the Channel 16 viewing area with the humidity of 53%, the wind west at 8 miles per hour, and the barometer now is on the rise at 30.10 inches. A good sign. High today here was 60, close to normal. The low last night was 46. Behind that cold front that stormed into town at about 10:30 last night. Records on this date, 84 and 31. A look at Newswatch 16's color satellite photograph shows vividly just a giant comet cloud. Take a look at that storm system, like so, centered right up there, and it's helping to circulate dry air into Pennsylvania to beautify our weekend. There is that cold front there, now way out in the Atlantic. Now, our forecast for tonight looks like this. Here it is. Clear and cold, one blanket night tonight with a low temperature in Tunkhannock of 39 degrees. Tobyhanna in the Poconos down to freezing by morning. 34 in Quakeake down there in Schuylkill County, and 39 the low tonight out in Milton. Tomorrow, so very nice. Light winds in the afternoon, brilliant sunshine, very comfortable temperatures. How about 63 for the high in Bohemia over there in Wayne County? 62 in Dallas, 62 in Hazleton, 67 wonderful degrees in Sunbury, and about 63 in Williamsport tomorrow for the high. Bright sunshine, fresh air, low humidity. And because of that, our Health Watch forecast indicates that your reflexes will be quick, and that aches and pains should not be a problem, and that you should be mentally alert on Saturday tomorrow, and that it may be a good day to socialize and have a party. Look at that mood index, very high on the computer Health Watch. No doubt about it. Get set. Something to look forward to. 39 the low tonight in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. 64 tomorrow. Look at Sunday. Very nice. No rain, lots of sunshine, and once again, very comfortable. 68 degrees Sunday afternoon in town. Monday and Tuesday, perhaps near 70. Tomorrow night down at Veterans Stadium for the Phillies game. Gee, I hope they win tomorrow. Beautiful sunshine, nice temperatures, upper 60s for that game in Philadelphia tomorrow. Karen and Nolan, there is a very strong hurricane out in the Pacific tonight that could threaten the Hawaiian Islands by Sunday night.
Uh-oh.
150 mile per hour winds with that one.
Wow.
And all you meteorologists will be watching that.
We'll be tracking it.
Good thing neither of us is on vacation. Right?
Yeah. Next, on Newswatch 16 update, the big battles in Philadelphia, Berwick, and Honesdale.
16 Sports Final with Joe Zone and Tim Karlson when we come back.
Red alert! All time tunnel personnel report to their stations on the double.
Take an exciting trip through the time tunnel all next week.
He'll be lost in time for the rest of his life.
Gods from Olympus!
James Darren, Lee Merriweather, and Robert Colbert star in The Time Tunnel, all next week at 4 on WNEP 16.
Quite a night of high school football. We'll have all those stories coming up.
And also, of course, the World Series story, which I'm smiling about right now.
You're smiling. A lot of Philly fans aren't, though. But first, what a terrific football game tonight in Berwick. I'm telling you, there were 12 4,000 people there, and I was there to see it. What a game. The biggest of our 3 Super 16 games of the week. Both teams going in, Berwick and Pottsville, undefeated, 6-0. You might think it would be anybody's game, right? The nationally ranked and #1 Bulldogs seem to be unstoppable. Berwick won the toss, drove down on their first possession. Watch quarterback Joe Orlando to Tony DeWeese, all the way down to the Pottsville 3-yard line. Next play, Mike D'Alberto in for the score. Extra point good, 7-0. Berwick midway through the first. Now, watch this kid Orlando again. Berwick's defense had held. Orlando scrambling. Look at this move right here, back across the field. Orlando now takes the ball all the way down the sideline to the 1-yard line. Next play, Orlando takes it himself. Extra point good, 34 seconds left in the first, 14-0 Berwick. Key play here, watch it now. Orlando will be tackled. Now watch this kid come flying across the field, and he'll kick him right there in the head. Orlando had to be taken out of the game. But Berwick finished off the drive anyway. Look at this, over from the 1 D'Alberto, 21-0 Berwick. Then Andy Mills, he'll go 25 yards to the outside. The big fullback in Berwick up 28-0 at halftime. They're rolling. So the opening kickoff to start the second half. Pottsville now down 28-0, trying to regroup, but Berwick has recovered a fumble on the kickoff to start the second half. 6 plays for the Bulldogs to finish off the turnover. Mills again from the 6, 34-0. They just keep right on rolling. They scored twice more, 47-0, and Berwick is 6-0.
Well, I think it was a total team effort. Our offensive line, our running backs all ran. Orlando, our defense, you know, it was a total team effort. We're not a one-man team. We're a football team, and about 35 kids contributed.
No, it was pretty tough. It's just that you know, we were up for the game and we knew we couldn't make no mistakes, and we had to be up for the game.
That was quarterback Orlando. You saw the bruise on the eye right there where he was kicked. He did come back, by the way, and finish off that football game. Next week, Berwick at Shikellamy. Another big game for the Bulldogs, but I'll tell you, I think they're just in a separate league right now. That's just how good they play. Let's go to the Eastern Conference scoreboard and see what else happened. Shikellamy over Hazleton 33-13. Number 8, Mount Carmel beat North Schuylkill 36-13. Lord's Regional over Bloomsburg 18-16. Milton beat Danville 20-14. Millersburg 14, Upper Dauphin 12. Southern Columbia 32, Northwest nothing. Another pair of undefeated teams meet tonight in the Suburban Conference, maybe for the league title up there. Okay, let's check it out. Honesdale, our number 12 team, taking on our 15th ranked Bruins of Bishop O'Hara. Big suburban battle tonight. Honesdale moving second quarter, no score. Here we go though, 25-yard pass from number 18, Win Light, to number 26, Kevin Edwards. Then Light again. This kid can throw the ball to Doug Longmore to the O'Hara 12-yard line. That sets up this 12-yard touchdown pass. Light to Edwards, 2-point conversion good, 8-0 Honesdale. Next Honesdale possession, 16-yard pass from Light to number 80, Leo Spoor to the 15-yard line. O'Hara holds him close on a run, but on 4th down, in for the touchdown, and it's 15-0 Honesdale. We talked to the coaches at halftime.
We've thrown a lot like that. We've got a good quarterback and we got a lot of receivers, plus our juniors.
Are you going to do anything differently in the second half, or just
we got to play a little more intensity on defense. We're letting them run 5, 6, 7 yards. We have to stop that.
We've been hanging back in zones and playing soft, and then we went to man to challenge them, and we're still hanging back. And we've just got to challenge them and make them throw deep and throw some outs. But we're shutting down the running game. We're just not shutting down the passing game. And they have a great attack.
Passing game for sure the problem. Look at this. Third quarter, Honesdale up top again. 23-yard touchdown pass. Light to Longmore. That made it 21-0. O'Hara did score later, but Honesdale wins it 28-8, and they are 6-0. Let's go to the scoreboard. Eastern Conference now. Elsewhere, Minersville 29, Shenandoah Valley 12. Lipsit breaks 1,000 tonight. Williams Valley 30, Schuylkill 11-0. Selinsgrove 21, Shamokin 13. GAR and the Wyoming Valley beat Tunkhannock 13-12, and Nanacoke over Myers 13-4. Now, Tim, we take a look at our third Super 16 game of the week. They are really getting to be big now, and you've got Prep and Dunmore.
You got it, Joe. A pretty even matchup going in, so you might think home field advantage might come into play. Well, Gatto Field in Dunmore is the home team for both, or home turf for both. So much for that. It turned out to be a defensive battle and a close one. Let's take a look at it. Jeff DeAndrea, number 33, is going to fumble. This is first quarter action here. A typical play tonight in this ball game. Watch this. Number 22 for Prep, Mike Marinich. He's going to cough it up now. And another fumble on the board. On the next play now, Dunmore's Dave Lopatka grabs this pass, but you guessed it, he fumbles. Incredible tonight. There's the fumble for you. Well, 2 plays later, Marinich of Prep loses the handle again. Here it is. Whoop, there it goes again. Well, finally, after the recovery, the Bucks mount a drive. Watch this pass from Mike Teig to number 41, Dean Tallow. It'll be good for 12 yards. The next play, we pick up another one. A pass to Dave Lopatka. That'll make it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Now, on 4th and goal from the 8, Monahan will be stopped by the Scranton Prep Cavaliers, and Dunmore's chance to score goes down the drain. Now in the second quarter, minute 23 to go. Prep gets on the board. Quarterback Joe Paciucci hits number 21, Bob Gigerelli. It goes for 53 yards for the touchdown. The point after touchdown, no good, and it's 6-0 at the half. Dunmore puts away the game. Quarterback Teig, 38 yards now he'll go. Here it is, 38 yards to Dave Lopatka for the touchdown. The point after was good. That made the final Dunmore 7, Scranton Prep 6. And look for some changes in our Super 16 rankings on Monday as we check the scoreboard right now. In the Centennial League, it was Stroudsburg over Palmerton 36-7, Lehighton over Northwestern 33-0, Saucon Valley upsetting Nazareth 14-8, and number 14 Wyalusing over Troy 21-7. That's the 20th straight win for Wyalusing. Other high school football scores: Central Columbia Loyalsock a 15-15 tie. Montgomery over Columbia Montour Votech 14-8. Bangor over Pleasant Valley 24-6. Towanda over Mount Union 27-18. State College shutting out Lewistown 16-0. And Lock Haven over Clearfield over Lock Haven 22-6. And Joe, it seems every team has a nemesis. And Scranton Central has been just that for Lakeland since they've come into the Big 11.
No doubt about it, Tim. Central has won 2 of the 3 previous meetings between the two, and the home team has never won. That's still true after tonight. First quarter action. Watch number 40 for Lakeland, Bob Boucher. He goes up the middle and down to the Central 17-yard line. That sets up a 17-yard run for the touchdown by number 12, Pat Fadala, and it's 6-0. The Chiefs are up on the board early. On their next possession, quarterback Brian Schweppenheiser. You've heard about him. He goes deep to number 11, Dave Copa, 35 yards, and the score, a 2-point conversion, ups it to 14-0, the final 26-21. Okay, high school football, Penns Valley 33, Bucktail 7. High school football scoreboard now. Penns Valley 33, Bucktail 7, Belfont 17, Jersey Shore 14, Central over Bald Eagle area 28-14, Waverly Seton Catholic tonight postponed. Different twist to the next game we're going to talk about, Tim, right?
Well, for sure, Joe. Dave Blazeski, the tackle for Coughlin, finally got his chance against his old teammates Bishop Hoban. Dave in a controversial move from one school to the other. I guess it really didn't matter as the Crusaders crushed the Argents. Picking up the action right now. We take a look at it. Third quarter action. Number 43, George Cole for Coughlin. He'll go 60 yards down to the 11-yard line. There he goes. That's quite a march down the sidelines and quite a run for Mr. Cole. Cole again will come up on the next play. He'll get a 10-yard touchdown score. That'll make the final score 61-0 as we go to the high school football scoreboard. In the West Branch, number 5 Montoursville over Warrior Run, Hughesville over South Williamsport, Lewisburg beat Muncie, and in the Big 11, Tech over Old Forge 8-6.
Big one for the Phillies tomorrow. Penn State, Syracuse. I'll take Penn State. I know you will.
Me too. I like them big.
That's all of our sports, our high school sports scoreboard. We'll be back with Nolan and Karen and the rest right after this.
Finally tonight, our area is made up of a lot of small towns. We're all kind of used to living that way. But as Newswatch 16's Jacqueline Carr reports from Northumberland County, there's a group of Chinese people who are finding out what small-town USA is all about.
This may look look like just another high school pep rally, but for the students and faculty of Mount Carmel High School, this one is extra special because of these people. This is Xu Chang, the secretary of the Chinese Embassy in Washington, and 7 other members of that embassy. They've come to Mount Carmel to get a close look at small-town USA. It all started with Joe Skigek of Mount Carmel when he sent a gift to the Chinese embassy.
I met Mr. Xu Zhang about 2.5 years ago, and I finally got him, and we both talked about a cultural exchange.
The Chinese delegates said they've really enjoyed getting to know some of the people in Mount Carmel and looking over the town. The delegates say they loved how warmly they've been treated. As for Xu Chang, he liked the high school pep rally best because the students reminded him a little bit of home.
Well, they are lovely because they remind me when I attend my middle school education. So I'm very happy. I love to be together with them.
Joe Skate is glad that his town of Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania is reflecting small-town USA to some very special friends of his from the People's Republic of China. Jacqueline Carr, Newswatch 16 in Mount Carmel.
For the team, including everybody back there, thank you for being with us.
Have a good night and a good weekend.